Onlytops.
Amazing underwater structures from around the world. Number 10. Buddha statue in Bali. Bali is the quintessential place for visitors to have the eat, pray, love experience, but off the beaten path is a place where divers can go to see gorgeous walls of corals, and the underwater Buddha. The 8.2 feet tall Buddha statue sits in between several stupas, which are structures that are dome-shaped and erected as a shrine for the Buddhist. The underwater Buddha is located in the Senengan Channel, right at the entrance, and it is facing north. An organized day tour in groups costs about $95, but a local guide can get you there for a more relaxed experience, without the crowds, for just a bit more money. Number 9. NASA's Tektite, Virgin Islands, US. Located off the coast of St. John, Virgin Islands, was an underwater NASA laboratory that housed divers in 1960-1970. Sponsored nationally and considered to be the first scientists in the sea program, General Electric Company's Space Division designed and built the Tektite capsule. At a depth of 15 meters, the habitat is seated on a rectangular base, and it consists of two metal cylinders joined together by a flexible tunnel. The white, 6-meter high, 4 meters in diameter cylinders look like a pair of silos. Today all that's left of the Tektite is its concrete moorings, but it is still visually interesting sight worth a visit. Number 8. Aquarius Research Facility, Florida Keys. There is only one operational permanent underwater research lab in the world, and it is located in the Florida Keys National Marine Sanctuary. Just a few miles south of Key Largo, the underwater habitat sits on the ocean floor in 62 feet of water and is right next to Conch Reef. Being it is in a marine sanctuary, a protected area, the fish and coral population are much healthier than in other underwater places. It's about the size of a school bus and can fit about 7 people in at one time. It's used as a training facility by researchers, Florida Institute University students, NASA and the Navy, but you can pay $4,500 to spend a night in it during FU's special expedition period. Number 7. ITHA, Undersea Restaurant, the Maldives. You don't need to be a certified scuba diver or even a snorkeler or swimmer to be able to enjoy this underwater structure. It's called ITHA, and it is the world's only all-glass undersea restaurant. In 2014, the New York Daily News rated ITHA the most beautiful restaurant in the world. It rests at 16 feet below sea level, and offers its patrons a panoramic view of the beautiful coral gardens that surround it. It serves the contemporary European cuisine for a 4-course lunch or a 6-course dinner. You will pay the price for its underwater ambience, however, as lunch for 2 can cost around $500. Number 6. The sunken pirate city of Port Royal, Jamaica. The depiction of Port Royal in the Pirates of the Caribbean is pretty accurate. In its heyday, Port Royal was called the most wicked and sinful city in the world, and infamous for its pirates, ladies of the evening, and of course its blackout-inducing, Kill Devil rum. In 1692 a devastating 7.5 magnitude earthquake swallowed up the city, and today, most of its remains lie under 40 feet of water. Divers have been exploring the submerged city since the 1950s, but today you need special access from the government to dive the restricted ruins. Many of the buildings are still intact, and it was designated as a National Heritage Site in 1999 because of its archaeological wonders. Number 5. The Lost Villages of Ontario, Canada. In 1958, to create St. Lawrence Seaway in Ontario, Canada, 9 communities were intentionally and permanently submerged underwater. It was very controversial at the time because many businesses and families were given market value compensation to relocate, but felt it was insufficient due to already depressed values from the Seaway plan. The Seaway's purpose was to make the waterways deeper for easier access to ports along the Great Lakes and to generate hydropower, for cheap electricity. Today it is a popular dive destination as St. Lawrence Parks Commission offers many access points to be able to explore the underwater history. Number 4. The sunken city of Dwarka, Gulf of Cambay, India. One of the best studied underwater places in India are ruins in the Gulf of Cambay known as Dwarka. Considered to be a sacred place in the Hindu religion, this fabled city of Lord Krishna is estimated by scientists to go back in time as far as 9,000 years. In 1988 a detailed excavation and exploration were started on this sunken city, where grids of streets, sandstone walls and some evidence of a seaport was found, resting in 70 feet of water. India's National Institute of Ocean Technology was conducting a pollution survey when they discovered the ruins by chance. Things recovered from the site like pottery, beads, sculptures and even human teeth and bones were carbon dated, to determine its age. Number 3. China's mysterious underwater city. Under the water in Qiandao Lake, China is one of the most spectacular ruins in the world. Built during the Eastern Han Dynasty, these almost perfectly preserved temples, with their monuments that have intricately detailed carvings on them and can be dated back to the 2nd century. This sunken city is known as Xicheng, which loosely translates to Lion City, because the city was surrounded by the 5 Lion Mountains. In 1959 the government built a dam for a hydroelectric power and purposely flooded the city. It now sits at a depth anywhere between 85 and 131 feet, and is a popular dive attraction. Number 2. Cleopatra's Alexandria, Egypt. Discovered off the shores of Alexandria, Egypt is one of the world's richest archaeological sites, that have been lost for 1,600 years. Cleopatra's empire is believed to have been sunk by an earthquake and tsunami. The entire city was completely submerged with all its statues, columns and artifacts largely intact. Things like the palace foundation, red granite columns, shipwrecks, sphinxes and statues of the goddess Isis have been discovered. Archaeologists have been excavating the site since 1998, but there are still many artifacts for divers to see. Divers can get lots of bottom time because it's in shallow water, about 5-8 meters, but the visibility is pretty bad. Number 1. The sunken city in southern Greece. Pavloptri is a small village in the Peloponnesus region of southern Greece and is where the oldest known submerged city in the world resides. Found in about 4 meters of water, this city is not an ordinary archaeological site, because it is very much intact and it is 5,000 years old. Besides its age, what's surprising about the ancient city is that its design surpasses many of today's current cities. It is estimated the city sunk around 1000 BC, from an earthquake and was inhabited prior to 2800 BC. The area it occupies extends for about 9 acres and it consists of at least 15 buildings.